from Sound Dust with the Pendulum4, which is an update of, guess who, Pendulum3. And what I've essentially done, it's the same samples as Pendulum3, although I have tweaked and added fairy dust to them, and I think made them sound a little bit better. Essentially, Pendulonium is a creation made from kind of rusty metal things. So we've got baritone guitars. We've got baritone guitars pushed through heavily processed tape, Space Echo 501, Space Echo chorus. So you've got a bit of warblers there as well. You've also got two infinite guitars. These are the Fernandez infinite guitar, which is kind of like an EBow, but slightly different in that there's one built in, like it's actually built into every string of the guitar. It's the thing that the Edge used to use in the day, you know, that guy from U2. Or was it Michael Brook as well? Anyway, and then you've also got a viola bowed and crammed 100% wet through the retroverb, spring reverb unit. So those are your main instruments, and I've got the patch up which gives you the whole lot here. So that's the basic default patch, which is everything together. So let's just cut a few out. Turn them on and off here. So that's just the guitars. We've got two together. You can pan left and right. You've got pitch control, so you can have a high one and a low one. High one and a low one. You've got sample start, so that you can get rid of some of the attack, which is nice in itself. You've got loop length. This applies to all of them, by the way, or most of them. So you can have different, you can go down to micro loops. So you can do quite nice things with that. It's just me holding. Then you've got this the new-ish thing from the Saxophonium. So you've got pan, which you drag there for how much you want it, and then you've got speeds going from 12 bars to 125ths of a bar, which, let's just have one of those. Let's put him in the middle. Let's do that, and let's put him back to normal. So that's kind of crazy panning and crazy looping. Slow the panning down. You're kind of into, and this is of course all BPM synced. So you've got the kind of pan tremolo. You've also got tremolo here, same speeds. These of course are all completely automatable. So you can do kind of interesting things there. This is your ADSR for slow fades. I'll talk my way through that. Well, I won't fade that long. I mean, it will, but it will be here for a long time. And you've got the shape there of the, so you can adjust the shape of the actual attack. High pass filter, low pass filter. Vibrato, in this case, it actually goes up to a whole octave. So you can do kind of audio speed stuff there. And then if you kind of make it lesser, you can have a subtle warble. Chorus, same thing. From very slow to really fast. Okay. So remember, this is just one of them here. And then we've got various convolution reverbs here with the amount there. And then here we've got a delay send, which is over here, which with all the long release and stuff. So you can make that a bit tape echoey. That's just one, so that's the whole thing. You can then build up. And let's put that in a huge reverb. Let's put it in a church. That's the delay, sorry, the chorus doing chorus, loop. There you go. So, and you know, even just balancing up the levels takes you to new places. Let's take that down again. Obviously, there's lots of velocity levels with these as well, and it's one note per, you know, one recording per note, etc., etc. Then you've got the tape version, which is deliberately quite gnarly. You've got noise, you've got a bit of distortion in there, and it's great for kind of adding in for extra texture. And then of course you've got all the other controls. And then you've got, let's turn those off, then you've got the sustainers. Let's put them in the middle. It's quite gentle. Almost mellotronious. And two kind of same instrument but different recordings, and it's when you kind of put them against each other you get quite interesting things as well, obviously. Let's put them in the middle. Oops, let's give them a bit of delay. I did warn you that it was rusty. Red button here adds a distortion unit for extra gnarliness, and it also kind of compresses it a little bit as well, so you can kind of add extra beef or thickness if you're a vegan. Finally, this old thing, which is there to add scariness. It's quite slow to build, so you can adjust that here. And as before, you add that into the other ones and it just adds more texture. Yep. I quite like this patch. Let's add them all in. Now we've also over here got some insert effects. So it actually, there's a flow chart here in the help section which explains everything I'm going through now in hopefully more concise details. There, so you can see the kind of the channel, the way the channel works and how things go, the direction, the flow. That's what I'm looking for. So insert effects over here. So you can then dirty up the whole lot more. This one here is particularly, it can be absolutely filthy. All of these, of course, are automatable. EQ. Rotor, because why not? and reverb here, which I quite like using completely wet and damp. So with the flow signal, it's going through there, and it's also going through the send effect, so you get a kind of combination of the two. If you take all these off here, then it's just straight this sound. So it's, you know, part of the process of building kind of interesting sounds. Then you've got these send effects. So delay is from here, as we saw, and then this is another overall reverb send for the overall signal coming from here. Might have gone a bit swampy there. So that's, there you go. And of course, then we have these new things here. So note jitter basically moves, kind of chaosifies the start point of all of these instruments, all the groups individually. So it's not the whole lot moved a little bit, it's they kind of separated out a little bit. So it can get a bit chaotic at extremes. I mean, it's subtle or not subtle. Just sounds like I'm a bad player. This is me just hitting one note, as you can see here, look. And so you've got, that's note on, you've got note off, so which affects more if you're kind of playing longer notes. Velocity as well gives you a chaos of velocity, which is quite nice. Tuning. For definitely doing your horror films. Or, you know, subtle is nice. And then, of course, over here we've got the scale quantization, which goes from octaves to whole chords. That's me hitting one note here again. And then you can scale that to any key you want in a variety of crazy scales. There you go, one note composition. You've also got the gubbins page, which shows you various velocity. You can change the way velocity behaves, so you can get rid of, for instance, take the max down, so only play the soft notes. You've got round robin, which shifts things around in often unexpected. Oh, we're getting a bit distorted there, it's getting a bit loud. Let's turn that master down. You can do that, so everything is the same. You can randomize, so you never. So yeah, more just very good for kind of coming up with things you might not have planned to do yourself. That truly must be it. Pendulonium 4, it's our updated Pendulonium 3. It's lovely and grubby and rusty, and I hope you're all well. See you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.